Jesus Christ! Yeah! Ah! Jesus Christ on that side. Yeah! Let me calm down. Let me calm down. Is it why I just sleep small like that? I sleep small. You can't do it. Because I lost my wallet. I was I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, give me my money.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Saifesha Oluchio Tushiko, and on this channel I talk about faith, lifestyle and gospel review. If you're new to this channel, thanks for stopping by, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. In this video, I'll be reviewing the movie titled Lagos to Gomorrah. Lagos to Gomorrah is a second thought production film, and you can find it on John Oguntuache's YouTube channel. I like how the name of the movie builds curiosity in the heart. So while the name tells you that the movie is about Lagos, it sort of leaves room for one to wonder what will really happen in the movie. Shout out to the producers and the entire cast and crew of the movie Lagos to Gomorrah. If you have watched the movie, you agree with me that the movie was well loaded with wonderful actors and actresses who did an excellent job bringing the characters to life. I like that there are several funny scenes, interesting scenes, and edifying scenes in the movie. One of the funny scenes was the scene where Raphael woke up and prepared for work by 2:30 a.m. after the experience he had on the first time he had an interview in Lagos. Another funny scene was the scene where Raphael had started working and it was a Sunday morning. He was still in bed, and his friend and roommates came to wake him up from sleep, and he was like, no, I'm not going to church. I need to make up for all the sleep I haven't slept during the week. And his friend was dragging his leg. Now it was funny because this same Raphael had gotten to Lagos some days back or weeks back, and he wouldn't let his friend sleep on the Sunday morning because he felt like his friend had backslidden for not wanting to go to church on a Sunday morning. And this was Raphael now deciding not to go to church on a Sunday morning because he felt tired. Lagos to Gomorrah tells the story of a firebrand, dawn-speaking, prayerful and vibrant brother, Raphael, who went to Lagos for an interview with hopes of getting the job and setting Lagos on fire for Jesus. However, he faced different challenges upon getting to Lagos. His phone was stolen, he was deceived, he faced temptations, was given the wrong addresses to location, making him arrive later than he should, and there was indirect pressure coming from home because he had left with the hope of having a better life and helping his family back in Shaki. So Brother Raphael tried to settle into the Lagos lifestyle, and it somehow felt like he was beginning to lose himself in it, and at some point he felt like he couldn't take it any longer because he didn't believe that he could be that person that would go days or weeks without fellowshipping with God, and so he decided to go back to Shaki, his village. I like how the movie painted a realistic and relatable picture of what living in Lagos is like, and I like how the pastor told Raphael that the problem is not Lagos because he is not the only Christian living in Lagos. So yes, we agree that there is a business that is attached with living in Lagos. Sometimes, especially when your house is far away from your workplace, like we saw in Raphael's case, the distance between work and your house, sometimes when returning, and distance between your house to your office, you have to leave earlier to beat traffic to get to where you're going to on time. However, the issue is not a time issue. The issue is a priority and desire issue. So sometimes what you think is a problem isn't the real problem. The real problem could be structure and discipline. There are several things that stood out for me in the movie Lagos to Gomorrah, but one of the things that stood out for me was the discussion Raphael had with the pastor. And by the way, I liked how the pastor and Raphael's paths crossed in the movie. It sort of reminded me how God can connect us with people we need in our lives per season, maybe content we need in our life per season, and that content, those people could serve as a guide, the voice we need to point us in the right direction, just like the pastor did with Raphael. So the pastor was having a conversation with Raphael, and Raphael was expressing how he was tired of staying in Lagos and how Lagos was just too busy and how he was beginning to lose himself. So while there is a possibility of losing your faith when you're in an environment that doesn't support the values and principles you live by, that environment is sort of like a test of your faith. And I like that the pastor told Raphael that this season coming to Lagos is really to test his faith. So being a Christian means that you're a child of God. So regardless of your environment, so for Raphael was in the village and he was a child of God. And he got to the city, Lagos, and at some point he felt like, oh, he wasn't really a child of God again because he wasn't praying as much as, or he wasn't able to meet up with his devotion. His lifestyle wasn't bearing fruit that they should bear because he was giving into the temptation of speaking back at the conductors, fighting back with the people who got on his nerves and all of that. However, being a child of God really is like having a father. So God is your father. Because you move states or because you move cities doesn't mean God is no longer your father. So let's look at our biological parents' relationship. No matter how far away we travel, we are still their child. They are still our parents. So with God, no matter the seasons we go through in life, no matter the location we change, He's still our father. So when we understand that God is our father, regardless of where we are, we can approach Him without guilt and allow Him to help us navigate our relationship with Him in each season of our life. So like the pastor asked Raphael in the movie, what is important to you? Is your relationship with God as important to you as you claim it is? So if you're in a season of your life where you don't have as much time as you used to spend with God in the morning, in the evenings, or at night, there are simple things you can do within the day to help and nourish your relationship with God.
Only the Holy Ghost can help you. You can't do this in the energy of the flesh. You need the help of the Spirit. But how, sir? How? Can you break this down? That 30 minutes in the morning, make sure you spend every last second of it loving upon God. Your phone is a major tool. Load your phone with sermons, worship songs, and download the audio Bible. I recommend the dramatic audio Bible. So that when you are in traffic, that 2 hours in that traffic is a good time. Ensure you are playing the worship songs, audio Bible, or even sermons, and pray in tongues under your breath till you get to your destination.
And I think that's what that was for me, the movie Lagos to Gomorrah. It's how God always comes through for His children. So yes, Raphael got to Lagos, missed out on the opportunity he came to Lagos for. However, God wasn't done with him. God allowed him to learn, orchestrated this meeting with the pastor, and God helped him. Thankfully, Raphael was yielded and he learned how to live in Lagos and survive as a child of God. And eventually, the opportunity that Raphael thought he had lost, God just had a way of bringing Raphael back in contact with the lady who had brought him to Lagos sort of for the interview. And it turned out that the woman was the pastor's wife. And this time, the woman listened to him because he had someone, her husband, who could vouch for him. So when you're faced with challenges in life, when you're in an environment where you don't know how to navigate through, when you're in a season of life that feels new to you because you haven't lived that season before, it's not the time to withdraw yourself from God and allow that season to drown you with busyness. It's rather a time to whisper to God through your daily activities. Help me, direct me. What do I need to do to ease the stress I'm facing in this season? What structures do I need to put in place to guide me in this season? And sometimes the help we need, the wisdom and insight and direction we need has been provided in the experience of people who have lived through those seasons. You can also read the book Brother Lawrence, The Practice of the Presence of God, to better help you understand how to incorporate communicating with God even as you do the mundane things of life, and how that God is interested in being a part of every single activity you go through, even at work. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'm still wondering why not, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. Also share this video, and I look forward to reading your comments. If you have watched Lagos to Gomorrah, what stood out for you in the movie? If you haven't watched it yet, what stood out for you in this review?